All right. If you're thinking about moving to Portugal, finding a property or something like this, there are a handful of different steps you should follow. Make sure you get a nice place, nice property and everything. First step, of course, is to find a property. You have mostly two different ways to do it. Very first one and the most important and the best, we didn't do it, just come to Portugal. Maybe move to Portugal. That's the best. Move to Portugal, go to Porto or Lisbon area, get a car, and over the weekends, you go to different areas that you're thinking about your property to visit and to see if you like them. That's really, really important because you're going to be able to get to know the region. You're going to be able to see properties which are not enlisted by the people that live there. It's like not from real estate, realtors or anything like this. The second option is what we did. We just went to idealista.pt and we found a property there. We actually found 4 properties that we wanted to visit. Back in the days, we were still living in Berlin and we did a quick trip to Portugal. So we took the chance, we took like I think a week off. We just rented a car and we were visiting properties every day or every other day. I think this one was the second or the third property we decided to go to visit. And of course, after checking the river, after spending here, we didn't even want to leave. We saw the property. The crazy thing is that we didn't know the region, we didn't know the area. We were super scared about being completely isolated here. It did not happen. We feel actually quite already part of the community. Is really nice. And anyway, we didn't know about it. And it was far, it was really far from Porto, like 2 hours. And we were like, we want to live so far from Porto. We are thinking about something close to Porto, like half an hour, 40 minutes. But yeah, after this 2 hours car drive, we had like quite low ropes, nothing really crazy about the region. But when we left the car, we could hear the river already. And then you have the river all around the property. It's super cool, super worth it. Once you like the property, make sure to get all the paperwork. Make sure to know what kind of property it is, if you can build, if there's a ruin, if the ruin is already legal or not. You need to make sure that you buy a property that you can live with and you can build as well, right? So in our case, we had the ruin here, but it was just a ruin, some plants, and like, okay, can we build here? Property completely off-grid, no electricity, no water, no nothing. So we ended up doing like a purchase contract where I paid like 10 grand for the owner of the property, and they would hold this property for me while I make sure that I get the construction approved here. So the camera, I would submit the project to the camera would say, no worries, you can build it, all good. Then I will finalize the purchase. If the approval from the camera wouldn't have happened, they would just give me the money back. It's a win-win situation. You want to make sure that you're on the safe side, and they also want to sell the property. This first architectural project, which is approved by the camera, it's just the high level of walls and some structural stuff, right? It's very, very basic. If you have the architect, maybe the architect even from the region that has contact with the camera, because it's better. They submit, they go there, they check and they chat everything that needs to be done with the people from the camera to approve their project. Regarding the construction, make sure you go on details, everything that you want regarding the house. All the windows, all the details you can do, all the ventilation, all the different type of setup you're thinking about it. Make sure to ask and to get everything as much as possible done. Once you have the construction, it comes a very hard step on this process, which is finding the construction company. Here in Portugal, at least from my experience, it's not that easy to find this construction company. It was hard. I tried to call many different random companies. Nobody had time or interested. The project was too small for them. They're like, whatever, no time. Oh, maybe in 2 years. I'm like, what? 2 years to start in 2 years? Maybe it works for you. I'm super anxious. I needed something a bit faster. Long story short, I ended up talking with the people from the tiny house, and they suggested a construction company that was helping them with some other projects here and there, also related to tiny house back in the days and stuff. And that's how we got it. They took the project, the construction within 6 months. It's really good. Once you find a construction company, you need to get the budget. So if you don't have the money like me, you have to ask the bank to give you the loan to build. Here in Portugal, you just build like a very detailed list of everything that's going to be in the house. So how much it costs to build everything here out of concrete, right? That's the foundation part and the walls, and then the roof part, and then the insulation, and then the covering. Everything, it's gonna be part of this budgeting. And then you go down into all the materials and everything. Everything's an estimation. The bank will look at it, will send someone here to the property to evaluate everything, and then they'll say, okay, it's worth it, I give you the money, or it's not. Maybe this project's a bad idea, I will not give you any money. We got like 50% on the bank, like, hey, but I don't have the other 50%. So I had to find another company, another bank that I would give the whole, well, not the whole, but 80 or 90% of it. Once you have the budget approved from the bank, get the money, get started with the construction, and you get up to this point, I guess. Once you start more or less like this with the construction, maybe it's time to check the interior design of it. At the beginning, we thought about just doing by ourselves with like Pinterest and just doing some research and something, help with my cousin, which is architect. It's not easy. It's not easy because the things are very hard. All the reference from Pinterest, they don't really just fit as an image. It doesn't work like this. So we ended up hiring like this company, this Brazilian company, design agency, interior design agency. They're doing the work for us for the interior part. Very helpful. I think we paid 2,000 euros and they're gonna do everything from inside. And also the terrace and all of these parts, right? So all the details. So you don't need to be worried about it. The 2,000 euros I'm most relaxed about it because it's gonna give me a lot of peace of mind. All the materials, all the furniture, all the lightings, all the water points and everything's done by them. They're gonna create 3D models for you. You can walk through the house, you can see the pictures of it's gonna be, you're gonna see how the lights are gonna look like during the evenings and stuff. It's great. It's totally worth it. Should do that for sure. Once you have the construction running, you need to visit. You need to come here as often as possible. Of course, for me, it's easy. I literally live in the property. I see the guys coming and going all the time. I'm here almost every day. I think whenever the guys are working, I'm here every day. So I'm a bit annoying. I'm just, hey, what you doing? I'm checking, I'm asking things. Also because I don't know how the things are done. I'm curious. I want to know how the things work. It's also very good because sometimes things are not quite going as you expected and you can interview at the right moment. Say, hey, what about this stuff? This looks a bit weird. And then discussions, you align, and it makes sure that the things are, you don't get like a bad surprise. That's really important. Also, since you're gonna be coming to the property, to the construction site, ask things. The guys are building this house for their whole life. They build house since forever, and they have a lot of good suggestions. If you come with the open-minded, ask, hey, what about this material here? What about this there? What about this entrance here? What about, ask. They're gonna have some ideas. You can definitely get some nice suggestions out of it. And I think probably the most important item of this list is be patient and flexible. There are things that are gonna take longer. There's gonna be way more headache than you think. The things are not gonna be exactly how you wanted. We started to see, we already had cars getting stuck, could not leave and go because of too much mud. We had another day construction accident where the man got squeezed between concrete wall and the machine, broke like 9 ribs, had to stay a bit crazy. He's good now, by the way, he's back at home. We're supposed to have the wooden deck for the tiny house, right? The woodworker is having some family issues. Of course, he has no head or anything to work with us now, but you need to be patient. I think for us, it's also very important that we are trying to get people from the region to work with us as much as possible because it's from our interest as well, right? If people here, if you can help the economy here, even it's tiny, it's nice. You get to know the people around you, you get to support them. It's a win-win situation. And for that, you need to be flexible. You need to be flexible with times, expectations, and everything. That said, we're still super happy. Yeah, if you don't have patience, if you don't have this, don't go for property, don't go for buying and building stuff. Get something that it's ready to move in, right? Because then you know what you're buying, you know the time. It's just on you to get your things and getting there. It's not the case. But on the other hand, here we're building it. I'm not building because I'm bad at it, but we're shaping everything here. It's really nice. I'm really curious to see how it's gonna look like in 2 or 3 years. Once the house is ready, once we have a nice garden, maybe some animals in the back, maybe some fruit trees, and maybe some yoga, sports deck. It's gonna be super cool. And I can't wait for that. But need to be patient. If you're thinking about buying a property or something, just write me. I'm super interested. Sometimes I go myself to Idealista to see properties. I'm happy to chat about this type of topic. Bye-bye.
Okay, the living room. First guest room. That's the living room. No, look how they look like now. They were freshly washed.
Man, they're freshly washed. We are happy dogs. There's no bullshit. Like,